16th show of the month, so it's been pretty wild. Then of course with like Mania weekend and stuff and all the shows going on in New York, it was just like insane. So coffee, water, life. So.
Great line.
Thank you. It's crazy that we go through all these hours of all these things just to wrestle for 10 minutes. And then everything else. It's crazy. But yeah, man, those 10 minutes make everything worth it, I guess.
That's our drug, that's our fix. Those 10 minutes.
Yeah, man.
In between wrestling, we're just always like, why are we doing this? Oh. And then you have that match and you have that moment in the match and you're like, oh, yeah, this is it. You get your fix.
We started in the back of high school. And
in the grass.
In the grass. Yeah. And then we upgraded. No, not just grass.
You guys were doing like the indies in the backyard?
I had to hide it from my mom at first. I remember one day I came and I did like a hardcore match, as if backyard wrestling isn't hardcore enough, right? But I went through thumbtacks, and I was like a bitch. I was like, yo, I don't want to take them out here. I want to go home and do them like in the shower, so like, you know, the water hits it or whatever. And I get home and my sister stooged me out, and my mom saw my back with like thumbtacks and shit, and it was a wrap after that.
What happened?
Whatever would happen with any Puerto Rican mom that is fucking bugging out.
See, even back then, and I had no idea what I was doing in wrestling, but even back then I knew I wasn't gonna do that shit without getting paid, bro. Fuck that, never did hardcore shit. I took stupid bumps, but nah, no thumbtacks, brother. You wanna see red, you gotta pay.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, the barbed wire massacre match, that was all his idea. I didn't want to do that shit.
How was it my idea?
That's your idea.
I didn't pitch this at not even a little bit.
Sure, I know you were talking to Sanjay.
Yeah.
Wow! We just come to the point that we're in too deep. Like, we couldn't quit now if we wanted to. Because we'd be letting down people like Homicide, we'd be letting them down. And yeah, we just.
Of course they would understand with, you know, given circumstances or whatever.
Not that we want to.
No, but you know, it's like those dudes are such a huge inspiration to us, and they motivated us in a way that like we can't even explain. So for us to just like give it up and be like, ah, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like I feel like it would be slapping them in the face, and those dudes are like our dads. So
Yeah,
you know,
wrestling dads.
yeah.
Which is the Homicides, the Hit Squad, Amazing Red, just that New York crew.
Can everybody turn around and appreciate the cap and gowns over there?
You like that?
It was bro, I'm a huge 13.
Listen,
13s are
I
like,
got the email and immediately went to Foot Locker again.
the last two pairs, the He Got Games and the ones before, the Breads, had the melt them out. Because those 13s are
I
like,
spent way too much money yesterday. And there's a retro shop downtown that I'm gonna hit tomorrow. I wanted to see what they got.
bro.
Jordans are my week.
My girl's like, you need to stop already. I have too many. And then what it is that I keep them in the box.
Yeah.
So the box takes up so much space.
In the same way.
And it's just stacks and stacks.
26 pairs?
28 pairs.
28 pairs.
These
28 pairs in the box. But
These-
like I have like new sneakers.
these are the 39th pair I got.
Nice.
We have a fork still if you want that too.
These cookie sheets are heavy as shit.
You can blame Bravo, he picked those out for you.
These are heavy, bro.
They had the Thanksgiving ones that were thin.
Oh!
You guys look ridiculous with the Thanksgiving thin.
That's true, that's true. So thank you.
That was the choice. It's Thanksgiving thin. Just one of those.
I mean, that's cool.
They call full metal for a reason.
When I look at this, you know what comes to mind? When I think it was like an ECW match,
The ladder,
and
yeah, it's like he has,
who was it? I think maybe Bubba Ray had it on like on Dreamer,
we have a yellow.
and he's holding it, and Dreamer's just like bleeding like a pig, and out of nowhere Bubba Ray just like grades, and it was, to me, I was like, no! Yeah.
Just pull it out.
Little kid moment.
Yeah.
You should paint it, man. We have some
Well, I got a salmon poke bowl, which is pretty much a deconstructed sushi, and I got some Japanese hair grease so I can do something with this mop of my hair. Matches like this, the nerves are especially rampant, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Just because you know the risks that we're gonna take, and we're gonna take some crazy risks. Like we don't know exactly what we're gonna do yet, but we know we're gonna try to up the bar and do something crazy. And especially with Lucha Bros, we're always trying to innovate and try to do things that other people don't do. So, and then when you add ladders and chairs and tables, it can get crazy. So yeah, definitely, I'm gonna definitely have a moment to myself later on.
I'm a fat kid on the inside, so I like to eat a lot. And then Angel's always like, yo, the ill hater, man, ill hater. Yo, you'll eat all this crap, da 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 da. Eat a whole bag of gummy bears or whatever, you still got a 6-pack. I put in work, yo. I put in the work. And then he'll be like, oh, you don't put in no work. It's dope, man. It's a good feeling. It's just like that that validation, like, yo, you know, tag team wrestling it's it's still popping, it's still dope, and, you know, we've been fighting for that for a long time, so it's a good feeling. To be honest, like, my partner always says, like, when we started, he was like, yo, I always knew we were gonna make it, I always knew we were gonna, and me, I had such a small mentality when it came to this. I was just happy and satisfied that we were getting to do what we love to do. Like, whether it was on a small stage, whether it was on a big stage, it didn't matter to me. And the fact that we busted our asses and got to the point where we're at some of the highest stages possible, doing what we love to do and supporting our families and all that good stuff, man, like, it's awesome. It's still surreal to me.
He's lying. He's lying about everything.
See what I mean? But yeah, it's dope, man. The past 2 years have been fucking amazing. Amazing.
Like I keep saying, it's a drug. It's that when that adrenaline hits you, it's like no other feeling.
He's lying.
See, I was talking about you, and that'll be true. But yeah, 100%, man. It's a trance-like state. You just get in the zone. Try to psych yourself up.
He's lying.
Because you know everything is gonna hurt and suck, 100%. People always say, the one question, of course, when we travel and everything, at airports, is wrestling fake? It's just like, how can I fake falling 10 feet in the air, you know what I mean? It's just, I feel fake is a derogatory term in wrestling to us as wrestlers, just because we know how we feel every single morning. And after a match like this, I know I'm gonna feel miserable tomorrow on Monday, but yeah. We just do it. We do it for that moment in the ring. In the ring, we're gonna love it, but the next day we're gonna be like, why are we doing this?
Not only that, how the hell, please tell me, how do you fake a grown-ass man, 250 pounds, jumping off the top rope and landing on another man? Yeah. Tell me how you fake that, because I want to know so that I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can do it right, because goddamn.
You gotta learn how to work, brother.
You're right. You know what? Fuck me.
Having a child changes everything. Definitely. I have to think about, am I gonna be able to walk out of this? Because, you know what I mean? Am I gonna be able to continue what I'm doing? All the time. It weighs on you because anything can happen. It's always the simplest things that wrestlers get hurt. It's never the crazy stunts. Like, you'll probably see us do crazy stunts today and we'll be perfectly fine. It's like a guy getting kicked in the shoulder and all of a sudden he's out for 6 months or 8 months because it's just the wear and tear that we put on our bodies, constantly just taking crazy moves. And then I think the travel plays a huge part in it more than anything, because you'll go and you're only really wrestling for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. but then you have like a 9-hour travel back, and you're sitting down, and you're not meant to sit down for 9-10 hours. It takes a toll on your body, and just if you don't have good posture and stuff, you start developing really bad muscle imbalances and stuff like that. But yeah, man, all the time it weighs on me. It's and it grows more and more. Like as my son gets older and older, my connection with him definitely grows more and more with him. Yeah, it's a little scary at times. Like there's certain things that 2 years ago that I'd be like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And now I'm just like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But for a match like this, I definitely would take way more risks than I normally would. And try to walk out of it. We'll see what happens. Nah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Such a dope set, the way they have it done. During these moments when I'm just chilling and like taking everything in before the shows, it just always takes me back to when I was a kid. Like, never in a million years would have thought that I'd be doing this. It's crazy. Growing up, wrestling was always my escape from the reality I was living in, and at that time as a kid, and my teenage years were some very dark times in my life. So wrestling was always my escape from that. A lot of it had to do with my home life and things that I had to see and deal with while I was at home with my mom and stuff like that. So my mom was a teenage mom. My mom had me at 15 years old, and she had to struggle and grind it out and figure things out. She was a child herself. Like I always like to say, we pretty much grew up with each other, literally. And so the same way she was figuring out how to be a parent, she was also figuring out life. And there was a lot of times where she didn't put us in the greatest positions. She didn't put us in the greatest environments. And I remember as a kid being so angry at her for that, because I'd be like, yo, you're our mom, you're supposed to protect us, you're supposed to, you know what I mean? And she did. She, but like there was some moments where I'm like, come on, you know what I mean? And as I got older, I began to realize, like, yo, she was figuring it out too. You know what I mean? And I can't even fault her for that. But, yeah, a lot of that came from seeing what she had to go through and seeing her struggle and seeing her be abused. And that was a big thing for me. Like, that's why I got into a lot of the things in the street and the gang life and all that stuff, because I did anything not to be home. I did anything not to have to see my mom get her ass kicked every night. I did anything not to get my ass kicked every night. So yeah, that's why I was so angry. I was angry at myself. I was angry at my home life. I was angry at the world. Just like any teenager, you know what I mean? I used that to channel this person that I play on TV. Wrestling gave me a hope. Wrestling was like, it showed me that there is another way. There is something else. There is, something positive that I could do with my life that isn't gonna land me in jail or dead,
Tell them about Magic.
Oh yeah, and with my trainer, like you said, his name is Magic, Andrew Morgan. He's from Staten Island. We spoke, and I told him how passionate I was, and I told him I wanted to train, and he was like, cool, I'll train you, but I want you to get your diploma first. And yeah, and he was like, that's the most important thing, and I am forever grateful to him for that, because, yeah, he cared. He was one of those first people at that time in my life that actually showed that he genuinely cared about me. And
unfortunately, in wrestling, a lot, there's people that will just take your money. He took the moment to get him to go on the right path, because it could have went exactly the other way. He could have just been like, yeah, take his money. He would have dropped out of school, and who knows where he would have been. Definitely would have been here. But yeah, shout out to Magic. Not bad.
Change real quick. Love you. 4, please.
Especially in matches like this, you know, these things are so unpredictable. You know, anything can happen. It's crazy because, like, I feel like when my daughter gets older, she's gonna go back and watch all this crazy stuff and be like, what the hell were you doing? She's a very proud daddy's girl, you know. Like the other day, like last week, she had show and tell at her school, and I was on the road, so I couldn't go, but she took one of the impact calendars with us in it, and I was her show and tell, and it was so dope. Like, my girl sent me a picture of the board where they have everything hung up and stuff, and it's so dope. Like, it's a picture of her in the middle with the calendar, and then on the side it says, that's Poppy, Conan, and Theo Monkey. My daddy does wrestling. And yeah, it's cool. It's so dope to be able to it's so dope to be able to look my daughter in her face and be able to tell her that she could do anything that she wants, you know. It's a great feeling, and actually mean it. Like, you know, like your parents, of course, they're gonna support you, and they're gonna, yeah, you could be anything you want, but I could fucking say it and I could mean it. Like, you could be anything that you want to be. And to me, that, like, all this shit is worth it because of that.
Yo, what's up, follow? There he is. He's just talking smack. He just said we're the shit because I'm videotaping right now. It's just how you know you're a sex guy. You just.
So they actually trust you to use that?
Oh yeah, they're trusting to use it.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I'm trying to catch some candid shit right now.
Okay. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
I'm feeling good.
You got a pretty big match tonight.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So?
See this gentleman right here? Yeah. This gentleman is one of the reasons why LAX is even a thing in this day and age.
Don't even say it.
It's
Don't
true.
even say that.
It's true. OVE LAX, baby.
Can I say this though?
Yeah.
Last week was fun.
Yeah, always.
We were in England?
Yeah, we were in England together.
We got to wrestle each other in England. How's that?
Awesome, amazing.
It was crazy.
Amazing.
But tell me how you're feeling. Tell me what's up.
Feeling? I'm anxious. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We got some craziness that we gotta do, but you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You leave it out there. Yeah. Always. You gonna do the same, of course. Always. Yeah. Always. Sex god right here. Ooh. Hey.
Hey. New
Can you
job?
do my hair?
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
do your
it's my new job. Yeah. So she's gonna flat iron my hair for me, so I look all pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna look like a Puerto Rican Ric Flair. That's the goal.
You're the midget king.
That's all I'm gonna think about every day. Someone's gonna like make a meme, like the side-by-side photo.
Oh, thank you for the idea. It's a wrap.
Sorry.
You look like all the girls I went to school with in Harlem. All right, you better stop. Listen, I can't take this guy nowhere. I can't.
Easy. Dude, you look like Puerto Rican Macho Man.
Sometimes a wild man.
Says Puerto Rican nasty. Woo!
I was like, is this shit really happening? I was ready to run just in case too. I was ready to fucking get out of here. I got you, Johnny. Watch.
I know.
I'm gonna get you. Where is John? Fucking stab him. Well, he thinks we're even. We ain't even. I'm a topper. Harley, ain't stopping.
I feel like I didn't even get enough like time to kick off that jet lag from England. We came back from England, home for a day, and back on the road.
It's better than the option, right?
100%, yeah.
What is that?
The opposite?
Yeah, what's the option?
Having shit.
Right. Exactly. So that's what you think about.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Trust me. I do.
Are you gonna be walking in, K-Dog?
Yeah, I'm gonna be right here, but I know myself. I'm gonna start getting hype and wanting to move.
Tonight, you go out there and you do what you were bred to do. Be champions. Querían guerra. Guerra es lo que tendrán, porque somos LAX. To live and die in LAX. We are LAX. 5150. Hasta la muerte y después. Yeah.
We just did a promo right now to hype up the match. Tonight's our last match, and so it's a pretty good culmination, and I think it's the first time in 2 years LAX has been in the main event, so that's extra special. All their matches have been good, the promos have been good, and this roster here in this company right now is very, very talented. Everybody's gonna go out there to steal the show, so they know that they're the last one, they gotta do something extra special. You know, I think there's always, every wrestler has inside of them like a, you know, they want to hear validation from other people, so they'll always come to me and say, how was the match? Even though they knew it was good, you know, and I'm like, bro, it was great, you know, oh, thanks, you know. You know, I don't give them as much advice as I used to because they don't need it anymore.
In the back of my mind, I know that I'm getting ready, you know what I mean? But there's still that down period because I don't like getting so amped up and then you gotta wait some more. You gotta do it maybe the match right before, so you got 15, 20 minutes and then you can just get out the gate and just go for it. But I'm still, you know, a little anxious, but I'm calm. Now I'm way more relaxed now that I did some of those exercises, but yeah.
You know, you want to go out there and start performing. You know, your body's just winding up and winding up and winding up, and it needs to go out there and release all that built-up energy. And what happens is after the match, a lot of times you still have that adrenaline pump going, you know. But I think this will be a good show, and I think they're going to top it off, you know, with a great match. They're going to go out there, they're going to tear it up.
Hogan's out there doing the thing right now.
Ready?
Yeah.
They're showing through what we've been doing for 2 years. Main event, we finally got it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Boricua, New York, stand up. Latinos, let's do it. LAX, let's do it.
Let's try not to fucking die.
Like I said, motherfucking fire. Hell yeah.
Who's the best tag team in the world? I've never seen a tag team match this one.
They do the helicopter.
2, 1.
Let's go!
I'm perfect for being away. Thank you, I'm sure.
Yo, his neck was like that. It bet, yo, how this motherfucker's doing right now, that's Jesus, bro. They killed it, though.
That's love for what you do, bro.
Really hope that that's love for what you do.
My adrenaline was going.
Get on something.
Okay.
You okay? What's up? What hurts?
Everything.
How's the hip?
All the tape.
Listen, ciao.
This is the end of the night. Everybody's really tired and everybody's hurting. You saw the very physical matchup that took place. Somebody could have really got hurt, and that's how much they love their business. They're willing to put it on the line. They're not professional stuntmen, but they put it out there on the line because they want to please the fans.
I didn't really see it. I just was like, I just braced and went. And when I landed, I was like, okay, awesome. I'm not dead. And then, yeah. Because my fear was us hitting,
I always
it's
think to myself,
slipping, and
like,
then we're hitting ground.
Well, one of you was jumping off a rope, right?
Wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? You love it so much that you give every single thing that you have. And that's the shit that reminds me that I must really love this shit.
I wanted to take that to the floor. I'm happy. Phoenix almost died.
Spanish fly sitting drop. Oh my.
Yeah. When your adrenaline goes down, you start to feel all the things that you hit in the match. But honestly, better than I thought it would be. Some things didn't, quite go as the way we wanted, but overall we're happy with it. And yeah, it's just crazy to be in matches like that. I'm over the gimmick match. I just want to have good old-fashioned wrestling matches, man. Do some comedy, stay away from the tables and stuff. But kudos to Phoenix. Things could have went really bad for him, but he still got up and walked out. He's a beast. In moments like that, you think like, oh shit, it wasn't even like it hurt going through the table, but then I looked over and I was just like, oh man, please tell me he's okay. But he was still moving, so I was like, if you don't see the referee throw up an X, I was like, all right, cool. My goals as an old man, my retirement plan. You ever seen King of Queens? I'm gonna live in my son's basement. I'm gonna be the crazy father that lives in the basement, and that's my goal. Just gonna smoke weed and play video games. That's my retirement plan. My son's my retirement plan. So if you're watching this, son, 20 years from now, you're gonna make some good money. You're gonna have to support your dad. You all right? You good?
I was just glad that we all walked out. That was my biggest thing. Like, I just wanted all of us to just be able to walk to the back. I don't know, after matches, I'm just like, I felt like my brain was just scrambled eggs for a little bit. Because I was just like, fuck, like we really just did all that shit and like, your adrenaline's pumping, you're hype, you're ready to go, and yeah, so my mind was just, and then when we got to the back, it was just so crowded, and so, I feel like that was the main thing for me, that it was just so crowded that I couldn't think, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't, like, nothing, so that's why I was just like, yo, just give me a minute, It was kind of giving me anxiety a little bit. I was like, yo, I just need to, like, chill in my little, I was sitting right there, and I was just, like, in a little bubble. All in all, man, it was awesome, and I'm glad we're all safe and good, and to have the locker room come out after the match and all that stuff, it was a, like, truly special moment, man, because, like, that was, like, our 14th match with the Lucha Brothers, and to be able to, it's very, very rare when you have two teams constantly be able to top everything that they've done in the past. Boom.
In wrestling, when you have good matches with people, it's pretty hard not to build a relationship. And when you click with someone in the ring, it's almost like an instant connection. And because you're trusting that other person with your life, because anything can go wrong at any time. And then with them, we just built that bond with them, and now it's great. And a little known fact, we should have talked about this earlier. So these bandanas you'll see us wearing at all times. We wrestled Rock and Roll Express. They gave us our bandanas after the match. And that was just a significant passing of the torch. And they didn't have to do it. It's not something we talked about. It's just we had a great match with them, and they were in the moment, and they tied it around our wrists, and forever grateful, man, to the Rock and Roll Express. To me, they're still doing it at 60 plus years old, and that's insane. And I hopefully one day we can do it at 60 something years old. But I'm really gonna have to drag them out of bed.
Hell no. I'm out at 40. That's it. This is all so surreal to me because, you know, my life could have been a totally different thing. You know what I mean? So every time we do something cool, every time we go somewhere new or whatever, I'm always like, damn, you would have thought. And he's like, me. What do you think I'm doing this for?
Yeah, I've always been a positive one. I came to the point when we were wrestling, and there was a point in the career where we were getting enough validation from the right people, and things started to click, and I was just like, we're gonna make it. Like, I was confident we were gonna make it. And we were gonna make it to the point that we are now, and we're gonna make it beyond the point that we are now. And we wanna become global names, global stars, and we wanna be inspirations for people that grew up like we grew up, for Latinos, for just anybody, you know what I mean? Any kid that just has a hard time, just take away race and culture. Just, there's people, all different races, all different cultures that are going through shit. And then for someone like us, someone from his background, someone from my background, to then now travel the world. We get to wear tights and travel the world, and that's amazing. And that's something at a certain point that I knew we would be able to achieve. But he always thinks back at the way his life could have went. Just one bad decision, it could have went a completely different way. He wouldn't be sitting here. He'd probably, you know, he'd probably be in prison. You know what I mean? But he was able to turn his life around, and he's a dad, and yeah. And now he has a 4-year-old little daughter telling him what to do.
Who would have thought? Not me. We're just two Puerto Rican kids from New York that had a dream and the balls to chase it. That's who Santana and Ortiz is, 100%.